Sunnah followers, protectors of the Sunnah. Sunnah followers, protectors of the Sunnah.
Alhamdulillah, wa salam Allah, wa rasulullah. Welcome to another session of Sunnah Followers Hadith class. And this is a Hadith class wherein we discuss Hadith from the book of Sahih Bukhari. This is the chapter known as the heart softeners. These are Hadiths designed to soften your heart, to make it more receptive to Allah and His commands and His obligations. And with that said, let's put the Hadith for discussion up on the screen. And this Hadith is narrated by Sahl ibn Sa'd as-Sa'id. Sahl ibn Sa'd as-Sa'id. He said a man happened to walk by the Prophet, and the Prophet asked a person who was sitting next to him, "What do you think about that man?" And the person replied and said, "That person is from a high class of people. You can look at the clothing he's wearing and see that he's from a noble class of people. In fact, he's so affluent that if he were to ask for a woman's hand in marriage, he would be given her in marriage. And if he were to intercede for someone, his intercession would be accepted by the people, you know, because he's from a noble class, a very affluent family." And then another man walked by, and the Prophet said, "What do you think of that man there?" Now, this man was poor. He was one of the poor Muslims. And the man said, if he were to ask for a woman's hand in marriage, no one would give it to him. And if he were to speak on behalf of someone, no one would accept what he has to say. In fact, if he were to talk about anything, no one would listen to him because he's not from a noble background. He's not from any affluent background. And that's when the Prophet smiled and said, "That poor man, he is better than that man who went before him and anyone like them." In other words, this goes to show, guys, basically, you cannot judge a book from its cover. That's an old saying that we have. Never judge a book from its cover. A person may seem or appear to have everything attractive looks, attractive dress, come from an attractive family, attractive background, money. But in reality, that person can be rotten to the core. That person can be arrogant. That person can be demeaning. That person can look down on you and speak beneath you. And then you will see another man who has unattractive clothing, an unattractive appearance, who comes from a poor background, but he can be the most kindest, gentlest, most humble person that you could ever meet. So again, the moral of this hadith is don't be quick to judge by a cover. We have to be able to see beneath the person. And one of the people that the prophets say that Allah hates the most are people who are narrow-minded. And how do we define a narrow-minded person? A narrow-minded person is a person that can only see what's in front of them. They don't have the ability or the insight to see beneath the surface of things. Allah hates people like that. We have to work as Muslims to be more insightful, to be able to see beneath the outer appearance. Is there anyone who would like to share their thoughts or views of this wonderful hadith?
Assalamu alaikum. That's beautiful. You can't judge a book by its cover. That's so true. You really can't. Judging him just because he looks like that, when inside he's the most beautiful and sweetest person in the world. And this one that's coming up here looking all luxurious and all of that is the most rottenest one in the world. It's amazing.
And it's good
Alhamdulillah.
advice for
Beautiful.
us Muslims, because nowadays, look at us, we're so quick, even when it comes to seeking knowledge. You know, you want to seek knowledge from a person just because of how they speak. Oh, he speaks Arabic, or oh, you know, she's soft in her tone, you know, and oh, ho, ho, I'd rather take from this person because of how he looks and how he speaks. Don't be so quick to judge that way. You have to listen to what they say. What evidence do they provide? You know, when they speak about the deen, are they supporting it with clear evidence from the Quran or the Sunnah? Or are they speaking about what Imam this said, or what Sheikh that said, or what Mufti this said? Or are they giving you answers from Islam Q&A, and or are they telling you, oh, I don't know, go to Islam Q&A? No, no, no. Don't judge by appearances. We have to be able to look beneath the surface. And so let's put this beautiful hadith up on the screen again. And it's real simple. The prophet was sitting with another one of his companions, and a handsome man walked by, and the prophet asked, what is your opinion of this person? And the person said, he comes from a noble background. If he were to ask for a woman's hand in marriage, he'd be given her hand. And if he were to speak on behalf of someone, his speech would be accepted. And then another man walked by, and the prophet said, what do you think of him? And he said, that man is poor. You know, this person, if he were to ask for a woman's hand in marriage, you know, then no one would accept it. And if he were to speak on behalf of someone, no one would listen to what he has to say. But the prophet said that poor man is better than a large number of the first type. So again, guys, be careful before we jump to conclusions about a person. We have to work on being able to see beyond what's right in front of our face. I'd like to thank everybody for joining and participating in this session of our Bukhari's Heart Softeners. Please make sure everybody is here for the class at 6. And don't forget, we're going to be having our Pray Like the Prophet workshop today at 7. We're going to teach you what to say in each position of the prayer, myself and Dr. Jamali. So please be here. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.